Today we're making pie crust, but not just any pie crust, Megan. We are making a vegan, paleo, gluten-free, dairy-free pie crust.
Sounds pretty good to me.
It's awesome. So we're just gonna get right into it. So what we're gonna do is we have our little food processor here, or big food processor, and we have 1.5 cups of almond flour. We're just gonna dump everything in, Megs. And then we have 1/2 cup of coconut flour, all right? This is actually 1/4 cup of fresh ground flax seeds.
Oh.
So this is really exciting for me because you could actually eat this for breakfast, you guys. This is like really good.
Breakfast pie, I'm on board.
Totally breakfast pie. And then we have anywhere from 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of coconut sugar. If you're trying to eliminate your sugar, you can eliminate this altogether.
Oh, I love that. Low glycemic, really great.
Yep.
This is looking pretty clean to me.
It's totally clean.
I love it.
And so you can do either 1/4 teaspoon or 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon.
We do. The more the merrier of that. Especially in the morning, such a great kickstart to your metabolism. I mean, I'm now on the breakfast pie train.
That's where my head was about this too. So
Yes.
This is vanilla powder. Again, if you don't have vanilla powder, you don't have to add it to your pie crust.
Could you use just the vanilla extract?
You could, but you know what? You don't need to. And so that was just like a little, vanilla sounds really good.
Be careful, like just read your label. Not, you don't have to be careful, just be aware. Sometimes the vanilla powder does have sugar added to it. So if you're looking for a vanilla powder, read the label and just make sure it's 100% pure vanilla bean.
Good to know. And then this is guar gum. So this is a binder and fiber, and it's about 1/2 teaspoon. Not using very much, but it just kind of helps it stick together because gluten-free paleo pies, sometimes they kind of get crumbly and fall apart. And then, so that's the guar gum. And then I'm gonna go ahead and
The flaxseed will help with that too.
Exactly, that's why I love the flaxseed.
Great fiber.
And then anywhere from 1/4 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt to 1/2 teaspoon. Right, so now what we're gonna do is just kind of mix all this up and repulse everything. There you go, it looks nicely mixed. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this part off.
So if you don't have a food processor though, you can do this with a fork, and like this you would just whisk all of the dry ingredients together.
Correct. But this is the part that will get a little bit tricky, is when you're adding the butter to it. So because it's a vegan, we're using a vegan, dairy-free spread that's made with coconut and palm oils.
I love this.
And it looks like butter.
It really does.
It's the palm oil that does that.
And you could also use, there's other brands that make like a coconut butter that's thick like this, not to be confused with coconut mana or the thick white part, or like,
you mean the coconut oil that's solid?
Yeah, it's like a coconut oil that's solid. You could use because you want this to be chilled, and if you've made pie crust before, you want to get like, the crumbles.
Yes, and we have that regular pie crust on our website.
Definitely, we'll add that link in this recipe too. So if you want to make that.
So if you're using a food processor, you never want to leave it on. This is all about the pulse, because we're trying to make the flour mix blended in with the butter and make like little pea crumbles. So it kind of looks like a crumble topping. So maybe
you want me to
just keep adding. I'm gonna take this out. Yeah, just go ahead and add the tablespoon in, and we can add a few more than just a tablespoon. You just don't want to add it in one big clump. Go ahead. You just want them kind of like. Good. Yeah. And it all looks nice and crumbly. I'm gonna wipe the butter off my hands. And now what we've done is, so I have some iced orange juice. If you don't have an orange around the house, again, don't worry.
And it's literally ice. We put an ice cube in the juice.
That's right. You can just do ice water. But I like the flavor of the orange juice.
It's sweet.
So it's literally just 1/2 of an orange.
Well, this is a cara cara orange.
That is a cara cara.
These are great.
Where's this?
Can you imagine if you did like blood orange?
Oh, yeah. It's just the flavor. So now I'm just gonna start with 2 tablespoons. You don't need a lot. And so what I'm gonna do again, pulsing. It's gonna all kind of come together in a ball, which you're gonna see in a second. I might need a little bit more. So let me just taste. You want to taste and see if it's, or not taste it, you want to feel it, make sure it's nice and moist. Because if it's dry, I'm going to just do it another second here, put it into the ball, and we have pie dough.
Success. I mean, this is, I feel like pie dough is always very,
look at it, and it's like so moist.
Difficult or challenging or intimidating, whatever word you want to put to it. But this looks so good. I love that it's literally all nuts. Yeah. No grain, grain-free. This is great. Like no sugar. This is something that I would feel really good about eating for breakfast.
That's why I started thinking about, ooh, breakfast pie, you know? So this is it, and look at it, it's just like our other one, and you can actually roll this out. So what we would do first is, this needs to rest for about 30 minutes up to a whole day. So you could do this the day before you want to make fresh pie. And I'm just gonna wrap it in some parchment paper. You wanna make sure you put it in a baggie, airtight it, stick it in for about 30 minutes.
Into the refrigerator.
Into the refrigerator, and then you're good to go. But right now I'm just gonna show you, I'm gonna add a little flour to it, because what the refrigeration does to it, it just makes it a little bit solid. So you can use coconut flour, cassava flour to keep us on the paleo, you know, grain-free train. And so that's what you can do, is just rub it on. We're using a silpat today. And so I just wanna show you how beautiful and easy this is. Oh, wait a second. So, see how like nice this is? What I wanna do is cut it in half. So you have half for the bottom, and if you wanna make a top, you can make a top, which is totally fine too. So we'll save that other half for right there. And now, I'm just gonna make sure this is all nice and floured.
You don't want it to stick to the silpat.
Exactly.
And if you don't have this silpat, you can just put down some, if you have like a wood surface or marble.
Well, actually, you know what else, Megan? They could use a flour sack cloth. Oh. Because I bought that once and I realized that it's just a flour sack, you know, cloth. And so like right here, I see there's a big chunk of butter in the flour. I'm gonna take that out. You know, because
that wouldn't be good.
It would just, it wouldn't be nice. So, all right, so I'm just gonna roll this out a little bit, because I wanna show you here that if you aren't comfortable with rolling, you do not have to roll this dough.
So you could like just press this into a pie.
That's what we're gonna do right now. So I'm gonna literally pick this up off the pie, off the silpat here, and then all we're gonna do, make sure you have nice flour on your fingertips.
Doesn't stick to your fingers.
And I'm just gonna move it about in this pie plate. Now this is considered an 8 or a 9-inch pie plate. And I'm just moving my fingers around to get a nice edge.
Even on the bottom.
And then, you know, you can, at this point, you can bake this and fill it with some fresh berries. And we have a strawberry pie. We have a strawberry pie recipe that you just bake this for about 20 minutes, if that. And then you fill it.
But you don't need to bake the crust first.
You don't, no. This is one way to make a pie crust, which is awesome. And you could keep it going and, you know, add a little bit more of the dough to make the crust come all the way to the edge. Another thing that you can do with this, you guys, is take a muffin tin and make little baby muffins in a pie tin, you know?
We love it.
We love that. Or a tart pan. Whatever you have, just be creative, because this is an amazing pie crust. Paleo.
So easy.
It's so great. So for this full recipe, go to currycurlskitchen.com. And if you don't follow us on Instagram and Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter. And if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, so that every week you can get a wonderful recipe in your inbox.
Just like this.
Hey!